Deacon the Villain, kicking it with the bshine.com, all the way live.
My name is No. I'm in a group called CunninLynguists. I'm also in a group called In Sync, but we broke up a while back.
For any new fans watching, I am Natty, 1/3 of CunninLynguists.
In my super younger life, I didn't even really like hip hop, to be honest. Like, I was the type of kid that was like listening to Zapp and Rogers and Houdini and shit when I was like 2. Like as a small child, but right around the time that I had a cousin that introduced me to like X-Clan, Public Enemy, and people who was doing like really socially progressive, like grab my balls, I don't give a fuck what you think about my opinion type music, and that's what kind of drew me into hip hop, because it was really like no other type of music that I was exposed to, at least, that had that type of energy, you know, outside of like a Rage Against the Machine or something like that. But like hip hop, you know, really encapsulated that in its beginning, you know, and that was one of the things that really first drew me in.
I first got into rap through listening to it, I guess just hearing it, obviously, but like Fresh Prince and shit. Like Fresh Prince was my shit back in the day, Beastie Boys. And then I played drums back in junior high, high school. And because we lived in a small trailer, we didn't have room for like a drum set. And so my uncle bought me like a very small drum machine that had like the rubber pads. It was like a Yamaha DD5 or something like that. And I realized that rather than practicing drums on it, I much preferred making beats on it. So I basically wasted all my time making whack rap beats on this little drum machine versus like actually practicing my chops. And then I quit drums because it was either play in the marching band or be on the football team, and I wanted to play football. So it was more so just like through the machinery, like drum machine samplers, and I was very interested in like sample art. So
the first time I really knew I wanted to rhyme, I was being a bit of a jerk. I was in high school. I got sent to SAFE, and in SAFE, I met a distant cousin of mine who I would later find out was related to me, named Shiesty Christ. Y'all know now. Back then he was lefty. He was Hendrick. You know what I'm saying? He was lefty. But yeah, I was in SAFE class, and he had wrote this verse that he was rapping in SAFE class called Mafioso Brown. And this is an infamous verse that goes around our crew, you know what I'm saying, back home, where everybody talks about the Mafioso verse Brown, which is the dopest verse that's ever been written and never recorded. No one's heard it. It's not documented anywhere. You know what I'm saying? It was an ill verse. And from then, I was like, I want to do that. And then, after that, when I skipped school, first I think I went to Cut Corner, and I straight up shoplifted Nas's Illmatic. that was the beginning. And then when Southern Playalistic came out, I was like, yeah, I'm really loving this. I'm loving this rap thing. And I was just like freestyling, whatever. But I still, at that point, I didn't want to be a rapper. I just knew it was something I enjoyed, and I liked doing it, so I did it. But I didn't take it seriously, like writing my own rhymes. I just freestyle with my people on the street, light out on the street, late at night or whatever. We on the corner doing whatever badass shit we was doing at the time. But, you know, from there it just blossomed.
I remember seeing Stress by Organized Confusion. I remember seeing that video, and like, that's when I was like really sold on hip hop. Like, to see somebody with so much like personality, charisma, a unique style, the way Pharaoh was like flipping words, all the type of shit he was doing. Like, I just remember being like in my room as a child getting ready for school, and that coming on, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, who thinks like that? You know, like.
One of my favorite memories is the Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre Ain't Nothing But a G Thing video. There was a white guy in it. And that was a very proud moment for me as like a 10-year-old child, because, you know, it made me feel accepted. No, I don't know. I mean, I guess making music, I guess maybe the first time we released a record and realized that people would fuck with it, I guess. So
it was so tough. It was kind of tough watching hip hop evolve in Kentucky, because we didn't really get hip hop like that. You know, shows weren't knocking down the door coming through Kentucky, you know what I'm saying, people touring, things like that. I remember the first hip hop show that was ever supposed to be in Lexington, in Rupp Arena, basically, and it was Goody Mob with this group called Cut Close. And me and my dudes were amped, because we were like, Goody Mob, For real? In Rupp Arena? For real? You know what I'm saying? This is soul food and all that. So we were amped. I bought tickets immediately. 2 weeks later, canceled. Never got to see it. Never got to see it. But, you know, eventually getting to meet cats like CeeLo and Cujo as a grown artist, you know what I'm saying? I still appreciated it all that much more, even though I never got to see them rock the stage like that. But it was so tough trying to get hip hop in Kentucky. You got hip hop where you could. We grew up listening to a lot of different styles of rap in turn because we had to search for it so much. So, in one hand, I got Outkast, the other hand, I got Nas, and then the other hand, I might have E40. You know what I'm saying? Like at Mac Mall. You know what I'm saying? Like it was crazy like that because you just liked what you liked.
It's no secret. You know, when CunninLynguists first started, we was called internet rappers. You know, and that's pretty much where I got a lot of my start. Outside of rapping with guys where I'm from in Versailles, Kentucky, like, well, who the fuck heard of Versailles, Kentucky? I was on the internet doing battles at like rapmusic.com, the Lands, all these Center Stage, all these different websites that people don't even know existed. And the main reason, honestly, that I ever even got on those websites and battle folk was I wanted the prizes. You could win shit like microphones, computers, stereo monitors, headphones, and I didn't have the money to buy that shit. So I was like, if I can just write a rhyme and record over somebody's beat and you know and talk, play the dozens basically lyrically, and come away with AKG microphones and rolling monitors and shit, I still got some of those prizes to this day. You know, because that's the shit that really started me in this shit.
The first stuff that we put out, it was pretty much all promoted on the internet, but this is like early 2000s, so people still made fun of you for using the internet as a promotional tool, and now you can't have $1 million company without the internet, you know? So I feel like people get signed off the internet now, and whereas we used to, like, you know, catch shit about that, you know, you can find like Source magazine articles on us from like 2003 where they're just like, haha, these guys are on the internet. Like it was some big deal, but now it's like you have to do that. Like, you know, Jay-Z uses Twitter, you know. People were laughing about it then, but they don't laugh about it now. So we were kind of ahead of the curve on that. So
I never imagined myself being a rapper, even after I got out of jail. I got out of jail. I was in the penitentiary for like 27 months. I got out. All the cats that I came up rapping with, they had formed a group. And they were like, we're rapping now because basically what we used to do with you back in the day on the street, like, you was super dope. We need you to do this. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So that's when I actually started writing rhymes when I was like 21, I guess to say. It was like when I really wrote my first like serious rap to be recorded. This was when I was like 21. And then from there, it just ended up, I did music with them. That kind of broke apart, you know, like friends do. And then I ended up doing music with some other cats that I knew I was friends with. And through them, I ended up meeting Deacon, you know what I'm saying? And started doing music with him. And then through him, here's the stuff that I'm doing with Deacon. So he's like, you want to do some CunninLynguists stuff? I'm like, cool. So I'm just enjoying this crazy ride that my words have taken me on. Because I went from sitting in a cell, looking at a bunch of bullshit to actually being able to look out a hotel room in Denmark and see water because I'm on tour, and that's been it ever since. I wasn't a battle man.
Convict.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
My pops is a preacher. My mother was a dispatcher for the police department, and I was in the beginning. I made really, really foul music. I made really foul rap. You know, talking about weed and fucking bitches and strip clubs and all that. And I remember one day I came home from school and my pops was like, I found the tape. You was on it. I was like, oh shit. But you know, ever since that day, they've really been really, you know, supportive of everything. Like, even though my pops is a preacher, he's not the type of person to, like, you know, beat me with a Bible or no shit like that. You know, he let me live my own life, make my own mistakes, fall down, bump my own head, and just learn from that, you know. I always had the support. When I remember when I was 9, he gave me a Richard Pryor cassette tape, you know, and how many preachers do that, you know what I'm saying? So that's just the type of man that he is, the type of family I came from.
I mean, my family's always been supportive. I mean, I don't really have like an old-fashioned family, so they're not really the type of people to be like, you know, I'm the first person in my entire family to ever go to college, honestly. So, you know, my family wasn't old school and so much that they expected me to go to college and, get a degree and fucking, be a doctor or something. Like, they're just happy that I'm happy, so.
Well, my family, they're real supportive about whatever. It's like, whatever doesn't make you go back to the penitentiary, we are always good with it, they've never expressed a complaint. And it's real weird because my family's not a musical family by history, but it's like me and 2 other cousins that I have that just for some reason got really immersed in the music and, the hip hop. My cousin's a producer, graphic design, all that, you know what I'm saying? The shows, promotes, and it's just, we're this weird generation of my family that just kind of like clung to the hip hop era and actually doing it and generating some money and, paying bills with it and things. So we're an anomaly in our family right now.
Everything is a challenge if you allow yourself to look at it that way. I guess it's hard for me to answer that question because I didn't really think of things as challenges. I thought of things as learning experiences and, just chapters to my life. I think Noah's the same way, Natty's the same way. We don't focus on the challenge of a situation. We just, focus on getting from one plan to the next, one album to the next. We've always been a self-contained unit. We always made all our beats. We always mixed all our music. We even starting to shoot all our own videos. I produce, no producers. It's like that's just who we've always been. We trial and error. We never looked at it as challenges. We just looked at it as what we had to do.
I mean, one of the biggest challenges is, just making a living from it, honestly. I mean, any artist in the age of the internet, you have to find different ways to make your art viable to where people want to support you. Because, maybe 10, 20, 100 years ago, you could be an artist and you can make a viable living and maybe be rich. But like nowadays, it's much harder, especially as an independent artist, to kind of outsmart the internet, use it to your advantage. It's really about the relationship you have. So I think that's the main thing, is just being in a position to make a living off of art, which is hard to come by nowadays. So
I don't think I've really overcome it, but my biggest challenge is I have never once wanted to be a star. And that's basically what subtracts from my drive to just want to put out a whole bunch of music, and I just want to put out music and get things out there because I want to be famous, I want to be a star. I don't have that lust, you know what I'm saying? I don't lust to be a star, to be famous. I love doing music because I love doing music, you know what I'm saying? Like me and Deacon have this thing we say, we don't do this because we have to, we do it because we can, you know what I'm saying? As long as we can, we'll keep on doing it.
There was a long period of time where I was real mad at rap, and like I'm the type of person that needs to be inspired, and I was focusing on all the terrible ways that rap was just falling off. But the older I get, the more I understand that each generation has to be able to do their own thing. So I just focus on those diamonds in the rough that are out there in the world. Some of them like the Kendricks, the Big Crits, they're becoming stars. But I remember 3 and 4 years ago on the blogs when nobody knew who these people were, it was cats like that keep me inspired. Just the next generation of people who are just trying to keep substance in music. That's where I get my inspiration from.
I just have a certain level of love for what I do that has never really wavered. So I don't need to be inspired. I just sit down, make music, and then I, go and eat lunch or whatever. Like, it just doesn't, I don't need inspiration, honestly, to do what we do. Like, it just doesn't, it's almost not necessary. And it's not to say the Deacon doesn't love it. He does, but he's a big inspiration guy. Me, I don't really need to be inspired. I'll make a beat in the middle of the night when I have the flu. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Staying inspired really is just a matter of living life. When I should always be inspired because I'm living. There's things happening in my life every day. So with things happening in my life every day, I'll never run out of things to write about, things to draw from. My friends and family, they're real close. I draw from the things that they go to, you know what I'm saying? When I'm doing my music, I put their stories within my music. So it's like I'll never run out of inspiration because I'm surrounded with it all the time. I'm big on family. So
never allowing ourselves to be told what to do by anybody ever. We make music for our fans and for ourselves, and that's really all that we care about. And I'm proud that we have maintained that from the beginning all the way up till now.
I don't really know. There hasn't been a defining moment And that, I think that maybe speaks to like my effort, my constant effort to get better. So I think that like my defining moment maybe hasn't happened yet. So, you know, me and Deacon just helped score a movie for Ice-T. You know, for me, you know, coming up on like Ice-T's old shit, you know what I'm saying? Like the Body Count record, you know what I'm saying? Like when I was young, like Ice-T was my shit, you know what I'm saying? Home invasion era Ice-T. So like, you know, to work with him directly is like an amazing thing. So
I'm proud that we've been able to sustain the level of love and care for what we do as far as our craft. We're not like jaded, we're not complacent. We always want to push the envelope or do something different, or what direction can we go in this time. Like, I'm proud of the fact that we haven't lost that, because a lot of people, when they get a fanhood, you know, and people are just feeling this particular thing you do, they get scared and they stay in a box because they don't want to push the envelope and do something else. So I'm just proud that we're always ready to push it to a different level every time we put out a project. And I'm proud of just being able to get to see the world and pay my bills doing something that I love to do. You know, that in itself is just, I couldn't ask for much else.
Just people, you know, that really tried our best to create some art, you know. We really want to be remembered in time. You know, nothing would make me happier than being 80 years old, sitting on a porch, and some kids got it on the oldies station, driving by in a car, playing some CunninLynguists, because some of our music was able to stand that test of time. Even if not all of it. I don't care if it's just 5 songs, 2 songs, 1 song, like just to make something that is able to stand in the echelon of time, you know, and just last forever, you know. That's what I hope we, right? Because only art can do that. You know, no trendy popcorn, microwavable shit is gonna last forever. You know, hopefully when Jean-Luc Picard is manning the USS Enterprise in the future, somebody on the Enterprise got some CunninLynguists in they deck. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like.
I think the legacy that I want to leave as an artist is a positive one. Meaning that if you look at the breadth and width of our discography, it's mostly very positive music. You know, we have some drug songs here and there, you know, marijuana, whatever, but like outside of like a couple weed songs, most of our shit is very positive. It's not negative, it's not, you know, because I feel like that's the best way that I have to like give back to the earth. It's like I have like a, you know, basically I have like a pedestal to stand on, and it just, you know, what you do with that is up to you. And I feel like what we've done with that is make positive music and have a positive impact on people, so.
If I had to say what I would want to be remembered for most, would be the fact that I bounced back, I had care for what I did, you know, there was a method to my madness, and whatever I did, you know, I had my faults and my shortcomings, and I embraced them. And if you were my family or you loved me, you embraced them too, obviously, because I never changed, you know. Whatever I did, from doing music overseas to just being me at the house, I've never changed. I'm always that same dude. And I go back for my family, you know, and when I say my family, that includes my Caucasian brother, no, you know what I'm saying, my pigmentally challenged brother, I mean my family, you know what I'm saying, like everybody. So